changamoto chungu nzima. Changamoto unadhani itachukua muda mwezi moja, wiki moja, mwaka mmoja, lakini changamoto yenyewe inachukua karne mzima, mwaka moja, miaka miwili, miaka mitatu, hata miaka 10. Lakini sasa wakati ambapo umejipata katika hali hiyo, utafanya nini? Kuna wale ambao watavunjika moyo na kuna wale ambao kabisa watamtegemea Mungu katika swala hilo wakihitaji neema yake. Can you imagine of God giving you a family you have been waiting for long, and this family you get a child and you are happy for the new child, and then after a few weeks, maybe a month, you realize a child has a physical challenge, cerebral palsy. Joyce Wairimu amekaa na mtoto huyu kwa zaidi ya miaka 10, lakini kile ambacho kinavutia moyo ni kwamba muda huo wote amekuwa akitegemea neema ya Mungu kuweza kumlea mtoto huyu ambaye wamekaa naye pamoja na mume wake. The grace of acceptance has taken her all this time. This is Uhalisia with Paul Kagi. I know it is a joy of every family, a husband and wife, when they are waiting for their first child, be it a boy or a girl. Na najua kwamba wewe pamoja na mume wako mlifurahi wakati ambapo mlijua kwamba baada ya kufunga ndoa mnakwenda kupata baraka ya mtoto wenu wa kwanza. And I'm aware that after some time you came to realize that your child has some physical challenges. Sijui wakati ambapo ulikuwa pale na ukajua kwamba mtoto wenu ako na changamoto fulani wakati ambapo amezaliwa, how was the feeling at that time?
Painful. It was very painful, knowing that we had really waited for our firstborn. Like any other mother and like any other father, we waited for our girl. But that time we didn't understand what it was, but we knew there was a problem, but we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes doctors, they are very lenient to tell a mother the problem with a child, especially for a newborn child. Unakuta kama madaktari wengi wanajaribu kuficha. Sijui kama madaktari wakati huo walikuwa na ujasiri wa kukuelezea kitu gani ambacho kiko na mtoto wako. Kama pia hadithi ni ile ile.
Like you said, nobody will have courage to tell you that there is a problem. Not just a problem, but a problem itaenda through her entire life.
Yes.
So nobody told me. Ilikuwa ni unaenda unaambiwa kidogo and then I go back home and start googling. Yes.
So wanakuambia kidogo kuhusu shida ya mtoto.
Yes.
Lakini wewe mwenyewe unakwenda kutafuta kwa mitandao.
True. That is what I did.
Okay. As a Christian, wakati ambapo umefika pale, umeanza kujua mtoto wako na changamoto, umekuwa ukimsubiri Mungu kwa muda mrefu, how was your feeling towards God at that moment?
I was very bitter with God, and I most of the times I hated talking about God. And nakumbuka kuna wakati mwingine I hated a very, by the way, Ndigi Duka, I'm very sorry, I hated his song Maweko Maku, kumaanisha matendo yako.
Yes.
Yani I was wondering why is he talking about matendo ya Mungu?
Yeah.
Kama mimi ninapitia haya, kwa nini why should I talk about
matendo yake ni makuu?
Matendo yake ni makuu aje kwangu kama ninapitia hali kama hii. I hated the song. Kabisa.
Yes. And the doctors, were there some doctors sometimes who were encouraging you? Did you have some Christian doctors in the hospital ambao really they could understand your situation and wasikia kwamba wanataka kukutia moyo? Were there?
Oh, they were there, but not really the doctors. But I had some friends who would somehow understand what cerebral palsy is, or would understand the problem of my child, but they would not be able to come out openly and tell me the problem is to take so much time. Again, I had a therapist who used to encourage me, but she would not also have the courage to tell me that it is something that I'll walk with through her entire life. So it was hectic.
And when did you know that your beautiful daughter here, Purity Wambui, had a cerebral palsy?
I came to know at the age of 3 months
3
at
months.
the age of, to be exact, during birth I knew there was a problem, but I didn't know what the problem was. I knew maybe it's something that we go through medication and the baby will be okay. But through the visits to a pediatrician, that when I was able to know the word cerebral palsy. Famously, it is famous in Itagwa, CP.
Yes.
So that's how I came to know CP. Sasa ninaenda nina Google, but as I could not know that the problem. Yes, sielewi kabisa. But at the age of 4 months, I was able myself, mimi mwenyewe kujitafutia information, nilijua akona cerebral palsy. Yes, but now through the denial and all that, sasa hata kama unaambiwa akona CP, bado haijakuingia. You still think that the baby will change.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had that faith at that moment.
Yes. Yes.
And sasa hapa kuna your husband is here. You are the mother. You know, wakati mama anakwenda kuchungua mtoto, most men are not around. When did your husband also knew the exact challenge of the newborn daughter?
It took him some time. He knew she had a problem, but I would not open up. I would not, because I thought it is so hard for him to carry all these that the doctors were telling me, and so he knew there was a problem, but I didn't tell him what exactly she was to go through. Yes, I did.
Why did you want to hide him?
Because I could see how he loves this girl.
Yeah.
And nilikuwa naona kama mimi ndio niko na nguvu kumshinda. Yani nilikuwa naona, yani nikimwambia what it is, I thought yes. Having that, alikuwa sasa hata mpaka ameacha kazi, he had come home. Sasa
you started going for therapies.
Yes.
One after the other.
True.
And who really encouraged you to go for therapy, and how now was the experience that now you have decided to go through the journey of your daughter?
My baby used to cry a lot from the age of 1 month. Having that, immediately after birth, she did not cry. And so she would not move her jaws. She would make no movement. And she started making movements, small bits of movement, at the age of 1 month. Including opening the mouth.
1 month?
Yes. And when she started opening the mouth, I was able now to breastfeed her.
All right.
And so after starting the breastfeeding, she started vomiting ile continuously. Yani hata akinyonya, yani yeye brain yake haijamwambia kwamba ameshiba. She would continuously breastfeed. Sasa wakati alianza ku breastfeed hivyo, akaanza sasa kutapika fluently sasa. And then sasa akafunguka ile yenye hakulia. So she started crying. And that's when I realized, sasa I need to start this therapy, kwa sababu ninaambiwa hakuna dawa.
Yes.
So let me try this therapy. And I started at the age of now 4 months.
4 months.
Yes. That's when I started.
And that time you were living in Western region of Kenya.
Yes.
Where did you go for that therapy?
I used to go at Bungoma District Hospital.
Yeah.
Yes, that is where I used to go, and I also used to, you know, out of vile kuchanganyikiwa, you are now trying to look for the best.
Yes.
So I used to go to Bungoma District, then I changed to Wambui District, like that. I used to use those 2 hospitals for therapies.
Yeah. And of course, by that time, God really had blessed you with a lot of stuff.
True.
Muko na biashara, wako kazini, maisha inakwenda vizuri, muko na mali, na maisha inakwenda vizuri.
Yes.
Now, as usual, when someone is going for therapy, is really not an easy something. Ni kitu ngumu sana, because you use a lot of money for that therapy. Now, there comes a time when you're selling your properties to take care of the daughter.
Yes. There was a time. Now, there before.
Yes.
As you said, we had money. And good money.
Right.
But now here comes, this girl is on medication throughout. And out of ile, unataka tu kuona mtoto ame-improve, mtoto ame-change. So I changed to I looked for a therapist who would come in the house and do the therapy. So I used to do therapies from Monday to Sunday.
Monday to Sunday?
Yes. Because I thought it is something that will will change. And by then it was costing us so much. On therapies, we would spend like 10,000, and minus the medication, minus the diapers.
It is too much.
Yes. And so, and the business now, I was breaking, and so I could not manage the business. So my husband had to come home, and so the business started going down.
It was running smoothly?
Yes.
Yeah.
There before we were doing well, but the business started going down. I was in the mtoto business. Ukikaa hivi unaona rafiki yako amekuja amekuvutia gari na lori yake amekuja wailimu hii gari imekwama mahali fulani. Yani we started now going down. Kwa sababu mostly the business was the one that was supporting the mtoto business, you know.
Oh.
Sasa wakati hii imeanza kwenda chini, ile automatically inaanza kurudi chini. And you know, in business most of the times you find yourself having loans.
Yes.
So you're paying the bank, and here the business is going down. So we found ourselves, we are completely down. Yes.
You sold your first vehicle?
Yes.
And the second one?
The second one was auctioned. And the third one, we had to sell it to pay our debts.
Yeah.
Okay. I decided, let me deal with the bank. But, okay, for the people, I cannot explain to them. Let me pay them. But for the bank, I know I can talk with them.
Yes.
They have serviced us for quite some time. I knew they would listen to me. And actually they did.
The story of Job, who was in a similar situation whereby Job is just relaxing there at home and reports are coming one after the other. The disaster that has just struck his home. As a Christian, at that moment, because you're talking about business going down, you're talking about your vehicles being auctioned, being sold to pay debts, you are now scrambling to poverty. Did something like the Job story come in your mind that time?
Oh yes, it lingered in my mind so much. And that time, thinking about the faithfulness of God was not practical anymore. Because here you have the baby, the business is going down. That time I would say, sasa Mungu hata mimi sikuomba shida. Mimi nilikuwa nimekuomba mtoto.
Yes.
Now here comes the baby and the problems. I think you are not faithful anymore. And that time I think I would not pray. I would not even
the
pray.
grace for prayer was not there.
Yes, it was not there. It was just, thank you for waking me up. And all that. Yes. And this time I'm also sinking into depression. So sometimes I would wish I would wake up and find myself dead. Najichuna hivi kai kumbe bado niko uhai. Kai. And I start crying. But God was still faithful even if I would not recognize his faithfulness. Yeah.
In the book of Psalms 127 verse 3, it clearly talks about that children are a gift from God. And here comes your beautiful daughter here, and she is in her condition. Did something like considering your daughter as a gift from God came across your mind?
How now? How would I talk about a gift from God? Kwa sababu hata kuna wakati nafikiri nilifika mahali nikaambia Mungu, I think unasema mtoto ni zawadi.
Yeah.
Huyu ni zawadi aje Mungu? Kama unasema hakuna jambo linakushinda. Kama Cerebral Palsy imekushinda, hii ni zawadi aje. I'm going through this pain from your zawadi as your word says. Yeah. And so I was not happy. I was not happy. Yeah. Yes.
Something Joyce, that is very common to many families. When you find a family finds they are having their maybe first daughter, first son, or maybe children, and once the child is being born, you find the child has some physical challenges. Some husbands run away from home. They divorce their wives. They leave their families because they feel, no, this is it's not something good for me. How was your husband responses towards the situation?
I think God gave me the best.
Wow.
My husband did not at any time run away from us. In fact, as I told you earlier, he resigned from his workplace and came home because now I could not run the business and I could not take care of Wambui. He had to come home and take care of the business.
Wow.
Most of the times he was the one who trying to do everything, by the way. Yes, he was trying to do everything. He did not run away, and I always thank God for him.
Yes.
Yes, even now I thank God.
Yeah. And what message do you have for families, husbands who found themselves in such kind of a situation? Yeah, what message do you have for them?
One, I would tell anyone or any parent out there with a child or any of their relatives or any close relative in their household who has any disability. One thing is to love themselves.
Yes.
Kwa sababu sisi watu ambao tuko na watoto walemavu kwanza huanga tuna the esteem goes down. Lakini huwa ninasema kwamba mimi kwanza nijipende.
Yes.
So that I can be able to take care of her. If I will not appreciate myself first, na niache sasa ku compare my life with any other person. Because when God gave me this child, God knew I can handle her. And like I said earlier, mimi nilikuwa naona, yani I think God saw me. I think Mungu alikuwa ameona mimi sijui niko na nguvu za aina gani.
Yes.
And that's why I was telling you, I could not tell my husband that Wambui has a long term illness or condition. Sikuwa naona kama niko na nguvu. Na kwa hivyo ninaambia anyone ambaye ako na mtoto mlemavu ama with any other disability, kwanza ajipende na akubali mtoto.
Yes.
Because if you don't accept, you'll be beating yourself so hard. And again, from the word of God, Biblia inasema kwamba if you cannot handle something, kwa nini kusumbue? And wakati nilifika mahali nikasema kwamba I will not bother myself with cerebral palsy again. This is beyond me. Now, kama daktari anaenda ananiambia kwamba there is nothing we can do about cerebral palsy, the only thing we can do is to love them and to try to manage. Sasa ukiambiwa manage, siombe Mungu nguvu akupatie uweze kumanage. And that's how I always tell parents, jipende kwanza, ujikubali na uambie Mungu akupatie neema, because through the grace of God you'll be able to handle these kids.
When the child was coming in, you were serving as a worshipper right in the western region of Kenya. Was your service to God affected that time?
It was very much. But this time I'm the leader of the praise team.
Yeah.
I'm in the evangelism team. And I don't want to break anyone's heart.
Yes.
Mtoto alianzia shida day one. And so, like any other, tunarudingi church after like 3 months. But for me, I did not wait for those 3 months because I had suffered enough.
Yes.
Even if I was going all through that, I had to go back and praise God, though I was still in my own world.
By that time, you had just gone down.
Yes, I was down. I was down. I would, by the way, kuna dress nilikuwa navaa suti. Sikuwa najua inairudianga every Sunday. And nobody was telling me unashinda ukili.
Na huko unajua?
Sikuwa najua. Niliangalia baadaye nikaona nguo imechomwa hapa. Yani imefade. And that's when I remembered, this is the only dress I would see every Sunday. Because I was down kabisa, but I would not open up kwa sababu sitaki kuvunja moyo, and sitaki kuvunja mtu moyo. And there was a time I would go lead people in the praise and worship, lead them to God's presence, alafu nikirudi home naambia Mungu, sasa now see, I encouraged your people.
Yes.
Now you sort me out the way you can. Just sort me out, because I would go home and I break.
There are many parents who have children of this situation, but along the way they feel that they need to hide the child. Maybe they feel it is an embarrassment to them. They don't want people to know they are going through challenges. Was there a moment when you felt I need to hide Wambui?
Yes, initially I didn't want anybody to know about it. I was waiting until that time when Wambui will be this strong girl and bring her out. And I would not want anybody to speak about her having a problem.
Right.
And so I didn't like anyone to speak about any disability, because I would go to the hospital, see children with cerebral palsy and the way they look.
Right.
Unajua sasa unajijazia. Lakini sasa singetaka mtu aongee kuhusu CP. I would not take her out basking, because I was sitaki mtu amuone. Until when I told God, now give me the grace now. Because if you don't deal with me, I'll die inside this house. If you don't sort me out, I'm telling you, I would not even want someone to look at her. Kwa sababu ukimwangalia ninaona ni kama unanijaji. Lakini when I started reaching out to different parents, and they told me, Joyce, if you want to sober up, start speaking about cerebral palsy. And from then, I have no problem posting her anywhere, speaking about her. I have no problem. Someone can judge me, someone can just speak the way they want, but that is not my problem. I have all the peace.
How was your church, the pastor? Were they supportive to you? Encouragement to you?
They were, but remember, I'm not opening up.
Oh.
I cannot be assisted if I'm not opening up. Even if they knew there was a problem, I think it is only few elders that I would tell, but I would not tell them what it is. So they would just Wambui amepona, because they also thought it's a short-term illness.
Yeah.
So I would not tell them what it was. Yes, but they were supportive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something is coming to my mind from the Word of God. I think from the book of John, chapter 9, 1-3. The story of Jesus one day, I think John chapter 9, verse 3, a very short one, about, let me do it in Swahili. Hata alipokuwa akipita, alimwona mtu kipofu tangu kuzaliwa. Wanafunzi wake wakamuuliza wakasema, Rabi, ni yupi aliyetenda dhambi, mtu huyu au wazazi wake, hata azaliwe kipofu? Yesu akajibu, huyu hakutenda dhambi wala wazazi wake, bali kazi za Mungu zidhihirishwe ndani yake. I know you know about that story.
Yes.
I don't know how you would say regarding to a situation. Yeah, do you sometimes keep and remind yourself if there are some works that God is doing towards purity Wambui's life?
Yes.
Right.
And the answer to that verse, it is still in the Bible.
Wow.
I would read it, and still, there before it would not have any meaning.
Yes.
But still I got the answer from the Bible, from the book of Exodus chapter 4 and verse 11.
We'll come back to that, because I want us to use that verse later on.
Okay.
All right, and dear viewer, today we are having Madam Joyce Wairimo, who is living with her beautiful daughter. Yes, Wambui, who is having a cerebral palsy, but her life is just an encouragement to many people. We are taking a short break. When you're coming back, the story and testimony continues.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
At Liza School Naivasha, every sunrise brings new possibilities. With over 20 years of shaping futures, your child's potential knows no bounds. Here, learning goes beyond the classroom. Our CBC compliant program equips students with the skills to excel in a rapidly changing world. Beyond academics, we nurture holistic growth through sports and clubs, unlocking every student's passion. Liza School Naivasha, where safety, excellence, and opportunity create a home away from home. Partner with us for a holistic education that guarantees success. Liza School Naivasha, the model school in Africa.
From the serene heights of Embu County, where the rivers carve through the landscape, a new dawn of hope and change beckons. Building on the incredible success of our inaugural event last year, we welcome you to the Imani Seven Forks Half Marathon 2024, a fusion of community, courage, and conservation. Join us on Sunday, 10th November at the scenic Matendeni camp along the Seven Forks Gitaru Circuit. Immerse yourself in the iconic beauty of the Seven Forks Dams as every step you take champions a noble cause. This year's theme, Going Green for Education, reflects our unwavering commitment to sustainability and empowering the future leaders of our community. Your participation fuels essential resources for orphaned and needy children, promotes youth empowerment, and supports the planting of 100,000 trees in alignment with the government's tree restoration program, contributing to the broader goal of planting 15 billion trees by 2032. And for those who rise to the challenge, here are the prizes awaiting our champions. The top 15 overall and top 3 local male and female finalists in the half marathon, 10 kilometers, and inter-school races will be awarded cash prizes, trophies, medals, and certificates of participation. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create a greener future and brighter opportunities. Be a part of this extraordinary journey. Register today at sevenforksmarathon.com at only 1,500 Kenya shillings and be a catalyst for transformation. Imani Seven Forks Half Marathon 2024, where every mile counts towards a brighter, greener, and sustainable future. Imani Seven Forks Half Marathon, going green for education.
Welcome to ATS Learn and Grow Kindergarten, where every child's adventure begins. At ATS Learn and Grow Kindergarten, we believe in nurturing creativity and curiosity. Our dedicated teachers inspire a love for learning in a warm, welcoming environment.
Now, can you tell me what you can see around our classroom? Yeah. Okay.
From hands-on activities to imaginative play, your child will explore, discover, and grow. Every child is unique. That is why we focus on individual growth, ensuring each child reaches their full potential.
Nice work, Kenny. Good job.
Join our community of happy learners and watch your child flourish and explore the world of coding and robotics. Enroll your child for November-December bootcamp at ATS Learn and Grow Kindergarten, where learning is an adventure. Visit us in Nakuru at Naka Estate next to Fancy Gateway Apartments off Naka Primary Road. Call us on 0715 116 699. ATS Learn and Grow Kindergarten, inspiring young minds, shaping bright futures.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Alright, and welcome back to Uhalisia, whereby today we are having Madam Joyce, who is talking to us about the way she is living together with her daughter, who has a cerebral palsy. And today we want to encourage any parent there who is living with a child with some physical challenges that you are supposed to take care of that child, because every child is a gift from God. And we love her story. It's for us all to encourage us. Welcome back to Uhalisia this day. And Madam Joyce, you talked about the book of Exodus, chapter 4,
verse 11.
Yes. Exodus 4, chapter 4, verse 11.
Yes.
Before I read.
It is about Moses, the time he was sent to go and talk to Pharaoh about their release.
Yes.
Na wakati Musa alitumwa, alianza kupeana reasons kwa Mungu, akimwambia kwamba God, you know, I'm not eloquent.
Yes.
Maneno yangu hayatoki vizuri. Nikisema sisemi vizuri. But now from on verse 11, God told him, nani huwa anafanya watu waongee? Nani huwa anafanya watu wasisikie? Nani anafanya watu waweze kunena? Na Mungu akamuuliza, na sio mimi?
In fact, kitabu cha Kutoka mlango wa 4 mstari wa 11, acha nisome hiyo ambayo inasema hivi: Bwana akamwambia, ni nani aliyekifanya kinywa cha binadamu? Hiyo ni swali. Au ni nani afanyaye mtu kuwa bubu au kiziwi au mwenye kuona au kuwa kipofu, si mimi Bwana?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is only God who can allow you to talk. It's only God who can allow you to see.
Yes.
It's only God who can make you dumb. Yeye ndiye anaweza fanya whatever you are doing, whatever sisi tunaona kama ni kawaida kwetu sisi. You can lift up your hand and think this is a kawaida thing.
Right.
But it is only God who can make you do all these things. Most of the times huwa tunaona tukiamka ni sisi tulijiamsha. Hata you cannot tell ile mguu yenye uliamkia asubuhi yenye ulitoa kwa kitanda ya kwanza, you cannot tell.
Yeah.
But it is only God who can allow all those things to happen in your life. And so through that, I was able to accept ya kwamba hakuna kitu naweza fanya kwa Wambui. She is that way, na hivyo ndivyo Mungu amemuumba. Kazi niko nayo mimi ni kuomba grace na kumkubali yeye.
I think that is where now the grace of acceptance came upon your life.
Yes.
You started accepting her situation.
Yes.
And the way God has made her to be.
Yes.
Talk about the grace of acceptance. Yeah.
Yes. I was able to know that nisipomkubali mimi ndio naendelea kwenda chini. People from outside may not tell what I'm going through. Na sasa mimi nikiendelea kukaa kama maisha ya kawaida, I accepted that I'm a special parent, which would not, haiko inaniingia kwa kichwa, kwa sababu nilikuwa ninajua someday nataka Wambui atoke nje kama watoto wengine.
Right.
I was still in denial. I was still in distress. I was still thinking there is something I can do. Na nikaambia Mungu, it is good that nimeanza kuaccept wakati sina pesa. Ningesema ni pesa zangu zimefanya nikaenda hosi hii, nikaenda hii nyingine. At this time, God, I don't have money. I don't have to go and visit the specialists. Now, sasa nisaidie kukubali. Sasa I was able to now to see that Mungu kumbe anaweza kukutendea wakati uko chini. Mimi ningefikiri because I am able to do all I can to her, mimi ndio nimefanya niweze kukaa na yeye. Lakini sasa I cannot fund or everything that she need. But now this time God gave me the grace. I cannot tell you how I accepted. Lakini wakati nili accept, nilifika mahali nikawa hata sinanga shida. Hata there was a time I went to the hospital and nikiwa tumekaa kwa queue, a certain lady akaangalia mtoto. But sasa unaona kale ka uchungu kapale bado kananisumbua. Nikaona amemwangalia, nikamuuliza nini. But remember, there was a parent who had talked to me na akaniambia, Joyce, do this. If you want to heal, like I said, start speaking about cerebral palsy. And so I remembered that thing. Huyu mama vile aliniuliza kwa nini nikamuuliza ni kwa nini umeangalia mtoto hivi. And she told me, naomba Mungu angenipa mtoto kama huyu.
Vile tu wako.
Yes. And I was like, kwa nini? Nikajiambia kwa mawazo yangu, huyu anajua ile shida nimepitia ndio nifike hapa penye naona nimemshika. Kwa nini aseme anaweza taka mtoto kama huyu? And I asked her, why did you tell me that? Akaniambia kwamba I have been married for the last 22 years. And this year January I have been divorced. Kwa sababu I've not been able to bear any children. And so that time nikaanza kuona, kumbe mimi Mungu naona ni kama huu ni mzigo, na kumbe kuna mtu mahali anaomba apate hii baraka. Now it became a blessing to me. I started seeing, okay, this is a blessing now. But there before, I would not singeona ati ni baraka. But this time, that lady challenged me.
Yeah.
Nikaona, Mungu kumbe wakati mwingi huwa tunakupiga vita, kwa sababu sisi most of the time tunapiga Mungu vita because we want things to go our way. I would want Wambui to walk at a bed, and that's why there before I would not want to be associated with her. But now that God did not do what I wanted, I was bitter with God. But look here, there is someone who is struggling to get even a child with disability. Nikaona, no, I have to believe in this God.
Yes.
Mungu sasa ninakuamini upya. Naona kwamba nilikuwa sikuwa naona baraka ya kunipa tu mtoto. Mimi nilikuwa naona shida. But now I think that lady alinirudisha kwa settings.
Nzuri sana.
Nilirudishwa kwa factory settings. Na nikaona kumbe Mungu, I've been bitter with you for nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Abraham, who was being told to God to leave his people and to go to where he's going to take him, a time came that you left now the western region.
Yes.
Why did you decide to leave that place, and where did you go?
I wanted to start life afresh. And I knew due to so many challenges here, I would not sober up. But when I am in a new environment, I'll be able to do what God will help me to do. And so I decided I'm leaving. I am leaving Bungoma County to Nakuru County. I settled in Gilgil.
Right.
Where I felt again I'm not comfortable. I left after like 5 months now to Nakuru. Yes. Yes.
When you came to Nakuru, did you find solace?
I would say I did. Now that you see you're in a new environment.
Yes.
Nobody knows. I was well off. So I can start life afresh here. Nobody can judge me here. Nobody will say, oh, you were driving the other day and now you don't have anything. Now I knew I would even serve God better. Because hapa ninasikia sina ile hukumu, and it is always good when you have a challenge somewhere kuliko kujinyonga na kufa moyo. It is good to go somewhere else, somewhere where you'll have peace. Hautaanza kuona kwamba mtu ananiona, mtu ananijudge. It is always good to be somewhere new.
In the western region, you are a worshipper.
Yes.
You had a break because of your situation. You are in Nakuru, back to church.
Yes, I went back to church. Though it was, you know, when you are new somewhere, you still have, you take some time.
Yeah.
Unapima kidogo, uelewane na watu. And then I sank back to praise and worship, and I'm happy serving God. And there is no day I feel that I should not serve because I have a special child. There is no way. In fact, I don't remember I have a special child.
Wow.
I don't. Kwa sababu, I say, if God has trusted me in leading the worship, then I should focus on taking people to the Holy of Holies, not just being a mere praise and worshiper. Just taking people before God.
True.
And so why should I remember that I have a special child? Yes, wakati tunaenda mbele za Mungu, tunaenda wote mpaka yeye. Yes, I tell God I have no problem. Mimi sina shida. In fact, by the way, I don't remember. I remember maybe during wakati kuna clinics. That's when, okay, my daughter has cerebral palsy. Her clinic is supposed to be on this day.
Yes.
But not when I'm nikiwa kwa altar ama nikienda hata church. No.
After 2 years, you are living with a child with physical challenges. You decide to have another child.
Yes. I have some very good friends from the same Western, and one of them was my therapist, the one that was seeing Wambui. And she told me, Mama Wambui, if you want to heal, if you want to recover from this shock, you have to get another baby. Sasa nilikuwa namwangalia na shibu. Sasa huyu ananiambia nipate mtoto mwingine. Sasa anajua kwamba mimi naona ni kama mimi ni mtu wa kupata watoto wako na challenge. Anajua kuhandle watoto wawili. Sasa nilikuwa, you know, the devil will always preach.
Unaona ukizaa mwingine atakuwa the same, mwingine atakuwa the same.
Sasa unaanza kujitayarisha sasa vile utakaa na wao.
Wow.
But I had some very, very, very good friends. Waliniambia, Joyce, go ahead. And so after 2 years, now Wambui was now turning 2. I had the second born now, who is, I called him Praise.
Why?
Kwa sababu huyo mtoto nilipewa tu. I would say I was given.
Yeah.
You see, Wambui was through CS and a very painful experience. But here I have this child. Though I've gone through a series of painful moments, kwa sababu most of the times mpaka unajua the devil is a liar, and he always preach. Yani alikuwa ananikujia na mpaka ananionyesha sasa huyu ni CP, sasa huyu anaweza kuja sasa hana mguu mmoja. You see? Yani kukuweka ile uoga. But now I had some few friends. Nilikuwa na marafiki ambao ni, you know, yani nilikuwa naenda kwao kama clinic. Yani aniongeleshe tu, aniambie it is well.
Wow.
And her name is Eunice Mwangi, wacha tu nimtaje. She would, yani alikuwa ananifuatilia. Ni kama yeye ndiye daktari. Until ile siku yenye nilikuwa ninaenda hosi. This time because of fear, I had even booked for CS. Kwa sababu I went to the same hospital. That is St. Mary's Mission Hospital Mumias. Nilikuwa nimeenda mpaka nimebook. Nimewaambia nini? Kwa sababu yule mwingine nilikuja hapa nijifungue normally and I was nilipelekwa emergency CS. Sasa huyu mimi nataka sio emergency, nataka mimi mkuje mnitoe mtoto. Mimi nikuje nikiwa fresh, mnitoe mtoto mnipatie. I don't want to go through that pain. But let me tell you, I left Eunice's house at 7. In fact, I had gone for the clinic during the day. Na nikarudi home. Nikapitia kwa mama nikamwambia nini najisikia sasa ile clinic nilikuwa nimebook, wameniambia niende nirudi sasa niende wanitoe mtoto. And so she gave me 2 chapatis. And now I don't want to take them because mimi najua naenda CS. Yes. Staki stress ya kuambiwa ati wewe sijui ati ningoje uchungu. So I went to the hospital and in the morning, and upon reaching there kukawa na 2 emergencies here and there. Remember, they had prepared me to go for the CS. And let me tell you, God gave me that boy.
Peacefully.
Yes.
Without CS.
Yes, without CS. Without any pain. Mimi nilikuwa nasikia watu wakisema you can deliver without pain. Nashindwa hawa watu wanasema. But that one I can attest. Mimi, by the way, they just told me, come, let me take you to the day. They were to take me to the theater now in the morning. And they were ready to wheel me. But mimi nilifika hivi. In fact, they helped me barehanded. They didn't have the gloves.
Wow.
I didn't have the pain. There was no screaming. Nikutembea hivi nafika pale naambiwa leta mtoto because I had already delivered.
After the second born, that one came after how long?
It was now after 2 years.
Oh, and the third born.
That was now 2017. Then now I was now back to Nakuru. I was now in Nakuru. And I decided to have a third born. Now sasa nime experience. And I started now. Sasa mambo ya Mungu yakaanza sasa kuniingia vizuri. So God, you can amaze me like this. Kumbe Mungu unaweza kunishangaza namna hii. And I remember because as I told you, I named him Praise. Yani it was because of what I had seen. Yani ni vile nilikuwa nimeona Mungu amenisaidia. Yani Mungu kumbe unaweza kukuexperience kiwango hiki. Yani unaweza tu nipa tu kwa mkono hivi mtoto bila uchungu Mungu. Yani I could not even understand God. Nikawa mahali sasa mimi sielewi Mungu. Simuelewi kabisa, and I will always tell yani Mungu sikuelewi. Na sasa haja yangu sasa nataka kujua zaidi kwa sababu naona ni kama sikuelewi.
Yeah, and the 2 children really brought back your joy.
Yes.
Brought you back to God. And today you are living happily with your family and always grateful to God.
True. Yes. And now with the third one. The third one came again through the same means. Without pain, without any suffering. And so I think this has brought me closer.
Briefly, you had 2 dreams. The first one was when a cup came before you. How was that?
It was now after I had now the third one. And nilikuwa tu ndio nimelala, and I think I don't know what to call it, but someone came. Alikuja tu kwa ndoto. I don't know. It was so, ushaiona kitu unaona ni kama vile tuko na wewe. Naona ni kama vile tuko na wewe. It's like you are giving me a cup. And I was given a cup, and it was written so well. Pray and fast. And it was brought, and then ikarudishwa, and then it went. Mpaka nikaamka nikakaa chini. Pray and fast. And ushaiona kitu ni real sana mpaka unataka uulize mtu, is it yani nimeongeleshwa ama ni mimi nimejiongelesha?
Pray and fast.
Yes, pray and fast.
After a short while, the second dream came.
I got the second dream. This time nilisikia sauti tu.
A clear voice.
Yes, si ati ile ati unasema ati ulikuwa unalala ukasikia mtu akiongea. it was very clear. This time I'm told, you've struggled enough. You've struggled enough and your struggling has come to an end. Wow. And I woke up and sat down. You know, sasa unaanza kuangalia kwa room ni nani. You know, Baba Wambui is not around. Ni nani huwa ananiongelesha? And now because it was, this time I've gone back to God. This time I'm even able to pray now. Sasa nikasema hata wacha mimi niache kujifanya sielewi. This must be God. It's true, I've gone through a series of difficult situations. This time I must accept that I'm not suffering. Yeah. I'm not going through pain again.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, and we love your story. It is quite encouraging. And I want to give just 1 minute to encourage someone there at home who is watching you right now, maybe going through any difficult situation or hardship in life. They are down. They don't want to believe in God anymore. You can use this camera and 1 minute can just encourage them.
There are so many people going through a lot of hard times. And pale mwanzo huwa tunapigana sana vita na Mungu for no good reason. Na tunaambia Mungu kwamba it's kind of God, you're not working out things as I want them to be. What we forget is hatuambii Mungu kwamba tunataka matendo yake yatendeke. Hatuambii Mungu kwamba tunataka atutendee jinsi vile. Sisi, we want God to do things our way. But one thing I would tell someone going through hard times, we cry in the morning, we go through pains in the morning, but wakati wa Mungu ukifika, Mungu anafanya all these things to come to an end, and God will make you smile. God will change everything that you think it's so difficult for you, because from the book of God, Jeremiah, for I have the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future. And if we give ourselves to God, sisi ndio tunaonanga, okay, we doubt what God can do for us. We doubt what God is able to do to us. Ukifika mahali unaona, I can sort myself through this line. Tunasahau kwamba Mungu, God holds the beginning and the end. Na hawezi anzisha kitu kama hajaona mwisho. If God has not seen the end, he will not begin that journey. Ataanzisha kwa sababu anajua kwamba God is taking you somewhere. So in whatever situation, wacha tuachie Mungu. Wacha tuache kuacha hiyo backup. Tumejipatia backup sisi. Tunasema kwamba mimi, we thinking that maybe my money can, maybe the connections that I have can help me to get to where I want. Let us give God our all. Let us give God our lives. Tumwambie kwamba God, we want you to drive us. Because if you don't let God drive you, I'm telling you, you will not feel the happiness that God wants you to feel.
Thank you so much, Madam Joyce Wairimu, for talking to MBCI TV, Uhalisia. We wish you all the God's grace and even blessings together with your family.
Thank you.
Right, and at that point, we come to the end of our program today. Uhalisia is a program that brings you some inspiring testimonies about people who have really triumphed over some difficult situations, and God is taking charge of their lives. Until next week, and today's parting shot is verse from the book of Exodus chapter 4 verse 11, which says, "The Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths, who made them deaf or mute, who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Bye for now."
As the sun